And guess what? I was rejected. The rejection was because I had an accounting background. So they said they didn't have any time for me to teach me right from scratch. At that moment, honestly, that rejection hit me badly. I felt so bad. And hello there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jabe Satukura Birunji, certified public accountant. For those that are new, please subscribe to my channel and share it out with your friends and colleagues. In this video, I'm going to take you through my personal story of how I was able to bridge the gap between the theoretical and practical accounting. I remember back then when I just enrolled for CPA, I approached one of the mentors who of course knew I had an accounting background. I was now asking him, how should I go about this? Yes, of course I'm studying and passing these papers, but I don't know the applicability of this content on the actual ground. I remember he told me, you have to get to an accounting firm to get the hands-on skills. That of course left me now wondering, where should I go? I started now searching for an audit firm where I can go to get this hands-on. I approached one of the audit firms. I was requesting them to volunteer with them, and guess what? I was rejected. The rejection was because I had an accounting background. So they said they didn't have any time for me to teach me right from scratch. At that moment, honestly, that rejection hit me badly. I felt so bad, and I almost gave up on that side. But I didn't give up because I knew I had no practical skills. I knew I didn't know even how to prepare a cash book. I didn't even how to do the bank reconciliation on the actual ground. Yes, in class I had studied these things, but I knew these things are different now in the real world. But now I knew I needed to get to that real world to experience how it is like in the real world. So I kept on the search. But in the search, I was looking out for an audit firm that was a bit closer to my home, so that I didn't have to move a very big distance, because I knew I was just looking for a volunteering position. Good enough, I was able to find one. And that audit firm, I remember I approached them. I got them via Google. That Google whereby they give the list of certified accounting firms in Uganda. So I was able to look for one that was in my locality. When I approached them, I remember that first day I met the team, but the boss was not there. So this people told me, we are not sure whether they'll give you or they'll give you. So, but the boss is not around. Come the following day. In my heart, I already gotten a rejection. So I felt like these people were indirectly rejecting me. But I didn't want to take it to that angle. So the following day I came afresh. I reached there earlier because I told me the time the boss would be arriving. They told me the boss arrives at 10:30. So by 9:30 I was there. I sat on the waiting desk. Finally the boss arrived in, and I was given a way to approach him. I explained to him that I am a CPA student, finishing my level 1. I have no accounting background, but I did agriculture, but I'm willing to learn, and I'm here to request for a position. And farm an opportunity to work with you on a voluntary basis so that I get the hands-on skills. Surprising, this boss was impressed with how I approached him. So he asked for my credentials, my academic credentials, what under CPA, so I gave to him. He was impressed and told me to start working. And by that time, it was around the 20th of August. So he told me I should start on the 1st of September. That was in 2022. Yeah, so I explained to him that I didn't want to be on full time because I had my other work that I was doing. But for any time that they would give me, I would use it to learn. And that's how I got the opportunity to start the practical part. I remember now when that time came, I started the training. I explained to the team, they assigned me one of the members who was going to be monitoring me. I explained to him, I don't have any accounting background. He was so shocked. He was like, how are you going to manage your own? But anyway, if you get focused, you will do that. So we started on the training. But what I did was to make sure every hour that I was sitting in that office, I was using it effectively to get the hands-on. So it's in that office that I learned how even to prepare those financial statements from scratch. I learned how to do those bank reconciliations. It's where I learned how to file taxes, the practical part of it. And in that office, I'll tell you my experience in that office. When I got there, there were men in that farm. So I was a female. I would say I was the only female then, and of course there were other interns that joined in later. But I had to tie myself, I'm calling it tying, on these people. They were so busy to a point that if you don't bother to ask, they will not help. So I would always ask them, how should I go about this? This has failed. Do you have any assignment for me? What can I do? So in other words, I kept on putting pressure on them to give me work. So I think they kept on seeing that I wanted to learn, and now they started giving me attention. So they'll tell me, okay, balance up that. So even if it would fail, I would still go back to them. I would wait even up to late. Because there'll be scenarios whereby the person who is going to help you will tell you, I have work on my desk, let me first complete it, I have a deadline. But when I finish this, after submitting, I will attend to you. So I would sit in that office and wait until I would get an answer to my question. So I didn't just go just to fill the space. I went with the main aim of learning, and I had to make sure I learned the practical bit of accounting. I remember now it was time for filing taxes. Honestly, I've never even been to the port of URA. So I remember telling one of the team that I've never done any filing. So they had to take me from scratch, from how to log into the portal, and then how to file the different taxes. I was in that period, that office, for a period of 6 months, but in those 6 months, I was able to get the hands-on skills. So these skills that I acquired, I started now applying them to my agricultural consultancy. Now that I had learned how to practically prepare the financial statements from scratch, I now knew how to arrange because now in most cases when you go to the farm, by farmers, you will never find any organized books of accounts. You start from scratch. So that's what I wanted to learn from this accounting, from this credit farm. I wanted to learn, in case I went to the ground, and the farmer gave me a file of only receipts. How do I approach this? How do I extract financial statements out of those receipts or invoices? So I learned all these hands-on from this audit firm, and I really want to appreciate those people for really giving me the opportunity to work with them. And then I always tell my fellow accountants or aspiring CPAs that the CPA we learn in class, in the theory part of it, you need to get the practical skills to back on this CPA. It is so heartbreaking or so shocking to find a CPA who can't even file pay as you earn or VAT or even pay a payroll. So I didn't want to be that type of an accountant. Honestly, I wanted to be the accountant who is really fully and fully baked. Someone who can go out there and solve a challenge or solve a problem. So it is in that way that I was able to bridge this gap. So as I talk today, I was able then to start up my own consultancy in taxation from the skills that I got. I approach work in a more confident manner because I have the hands-on skills. The hands-on skills, I use my theory to back this up, and then my confidence is boosted up. If you are out there and you are pursuing a CPA course or an accounting course, I want to tell you, you need to get out of your comfort zone. Get out of that comfort zone. Look for an accounting firm or a practicing audit firm or a place where you can do the hands-on skills. Honestly, these things that we study in the theory, they are somehow different on ground. For example, in the theory part, when you're in class, they are going to give you maybe financial statements that are maybe wrongly prepared, and then tell you to correct them. Then you come to the actual ground. The actual ground is a bit different. In practice, in most cases, you are going to find businesses of people that just have scattered records that you have to first of all arrange up and then develop financial statements out of that. But if you don't have this hands-on and you don't even know how to prepare the financial statements, you are not going to be able to help this business owner. So for you to benefit from the CPA, you have to get the hands-on. And it's also another requirement of the institute that we need to have the practical training so that we are enrolled as full members. Personally, I see that as a good thing. It is something that is encouraging most of us, especially us who are from the different backgrounds. We are able to now get the hands-on skills so that we are able to solve the different challenges we shall find on the way. Otherwise, I wish you all the best, and I encourage you to get out of your comfort zone. Know what exactly you want. If you want to pursue a career in accounting, there is no shortcut. You need to have the hands-on skills. People are looking for people who have hands-on. People are going to ask you to come and explain those standards. Actually, in the real world, there is no person going to ask you about those standards, the international financial reporting standards. People are not interested in that. All they are interested in is, are you able to solve for me this particular problem? And that's what they are willing to pay for. If you can't solve it, then there is no use of you being hired by those people. So I want to encourage each of you, whether you are just starting your CPA or you are already there, you need to get out of your comfort zone and get the hands-on skills. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors.